Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I wanted to share a little epiphany that I had last night. So yesterday, and if you're watching, comment below, say hi, tell me where you're watching from. So yesterday, I was doing an interview with Melissa Ambrosini, who is the author of this book, Comparisonitis. This was an interview I did live. It's in my Fearless Girl book club. And she and I were chatting about, I asked her a question about trust and belief. And I said, how can somebody find, gain more trust or belief when they're really struggling to have any? And what she said was that if we have to believe in something, whether that is religion or, certain morals, that we have to believe in something. And it gave me the thought that I was like, and I mentioned this on this live video that is going to be also a podcast. You can listen to it later on the Fearless Girl podcast. But I said, you know what else I think? I think that when we focus on gratitude, like when we count our blessings, those things expand because our brain is always looking for evidence. And it's really easy to find like negative evidence, right? Of like what we're doing wrong or why things never work out. But when we practice gratitude, it helps us to focus on why things are working out for us, And so when we're looking, I'd never thought of gratitude in that way. I've always thought of like, oh, that's just what we're supposed to do to be happier and like appreciate stuff, right? But gratitude is actually a great way to start looking for evidence of why things are working out for you. Because it's real easy for us to see why they're not working out for us. And then we start this thought pattern of like, well, here's another reason why things are not working out for us, right? And so I shared that with her and kind of was thinking about it throughout the day. And then later that day, the past like week or so, I've just been getting frustrated with my teens and my kids. I have 4 kids and 3 of them are teenagers. And I think part of it is that I'm a perfectionist. I'll be honest. I want everything to be perfect. And I'm learning to give myself and others more grace and like just let that crap go because it doesn't serve us to be perfectionists because nobody's perfect. So it's really unrealistic. But I think I was projecting my perfectionism onto my kids of like, okay, we gotta fix all your flaws so you can be perfect, which is not healthy for them. And it's not good for my relationship with my teens and my 9-year-old. And so I was thinking about it last night and I was like, and I had this epiphany and I truly believe it came from God. And it was like, you're focusing on the wrong things. Like you're focusing on all of their flaws, like all of the things that, like the 10% of things that, they're struggling with or they're not doing right or whatever, instead of the 90% that my kids are doing right. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so true. Like it's ridiculous how we do this with other humans. We focus on like the small, and that's actually something I don't want them to do with me. I don't want them to remember like I just did a post on a couple of nights ago about how I had a parenting fail where I like got pissed at my son and I grabbed his cell phone at the dinner table and tossed it across the room and said a cuss word. And then I was like sad afterwards because I'm like, crap. Now that's all they're going to remember is like he's going to remember like the one time that I threw the cell phone and got pissed. You know what I mean? Like those times where we lose our cool because we're human. And I was like, I don't want them to do that to me. So why am I doing that to them? And then it made me think of how if we want to improve any relationship, we need to focus on the things that we love about these people, including ourselves. If we want to focus, I define confidence as having a loving relationship with yourself. If you want to improve your relationship with yourself and others and God, we need to focus on the things that we love and appreciate about that person, including ourselves. And yeah, Becca said it's so hard because you want to talk about the things that need to be improved so that you can improve them, but you can't focus on it. 100%. And you know what? I really believe that sometimes, like truly what we focus on expands. And if we are focusing on the good, I feel like all the other things fall out of place. Like we're all on a journey to improve. And sometimes those things just take time in ourselves and in our children. Like those things are just, sometimes they just need to mature a little. Sometimes we need to grow up a little. And so really, if we're just focusing on those good things about ourselves, on our strengths, this is great advice for anyone who has a business. If you're constantly focusing on like, oh, I suck at this, like I need to do this better, blah, 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 then that's your focus. And you're going to get discouraged. And when we get discouraged, then we have less courage, right? And you need courage to like run a business, yeah? You need courage to get out of your comfort zone. That is where success is on the other side of your comfort zone. But if you're constantly discouraging yourself, you're going nowhere, right? You're not going to move out of that comfort zone. So we really, truly need to focus more on our own strengths and the strengths of our loved ones or the strengths of people that we want to improve relationships with. It could be friends, it could be extended family, it could be our relationship with our heavenly parents. And so here's what I did about it, because I'm all about taking action. I truly believe that's how you can overcome things, is through action. So what I did this morning was, instead of writing I'm a huge fan of gratitude journals. They can be a game changer. In fact, studies show that people who have gratitude journals are actually happier people. So if you want to be happier, start a gratitude journal. But this was a way that I call it love letters. And I decided to make a love letter gratitude journal. And this way, I'm like actually really excited about doing this, because I know it feels more tangible, and it feels like it's really truly going to improve my relationships with others and with myself and with God. So what I did was, instead of just writing the normal gratitude journal stuff I decided to focus on each kid. And one thing I loved that they did yesterday. So this was actually really heartwarming to do. So I wrote down, how I appreciated that my youngest son, Max, apologized to his sister without being prompted to, without being guilt tripped into it. He did it on his own, and he also shared his own feelings of why, he was having a bad day with his sister. I loved that. And then I wrote how I appreciated that my older daughter accepted his apology, and also that she was willing to try again in something she had kind of not done right the first time. And she was willing to try again. So I wrote that, and then I texted it to her this morning. My youngest son, Max, doesn't have a cell phone, so that wasn't an option, but I'm going to be sure to tell him. And then I wrote down how I appreciated that Abe, my 14-year-old, came in the kitchen at like 9:30 last night and said, and I was like, what you doing? What's up? And he's like, I just wanted to help you. I just wanted to help you with cleaning up. And I was like, what? Who is this kid? What happened? But that moment could have been easily forgotten unless I wrote it down. And then I texted him and told him how I appreciated that. Then I wrote down how I appreciated that my 17-year-old son kissed Max on the cheek when he was having a bad day. Like, that melted my heart. So I texted him that and said I appreciated that. Then I wrote down how I included my husband in this because it's so important to strengthen our relationship with our spouses. So I said I appreciated how my husband went to bed before, like when he was starting to get grumpy. And then I texted him that. And then, now here's the hard part. I had to write something that I was proud of myself for doing. And I sat there for a minute. How sad is that? It's so easy to see the good in others, a lot harder to see the good in ourselves. I had to sit there for a minute and I was like, okay, what did I do that I'm proud of? And so I had to really self-reflect, and I realized that I was really proud of myself for not guilt-tripping my 9-year-old to apologize. So I normally would be like, hey, are you going to apologize? Like, I mean, you hurt her feelings, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, I'm just going to step back, which is really hard for a control freak like me. I'm just going to step back and let him hopefully come to that own conclusion himself instead of being like a helicopter mom. So I stepped back, and eventually he did it on his own, which made me, I was like, hallelujah. So I wrote that down, and then guess what? I texted it to myself. I sent myself a love letter. And then finally I was like, what is one thing that, I'm trying to improve my relationship with my Heavenly Father. And so I was like, with God, because sometimes, we struggle in that area. And so I wrote down something that I felt like he had helped me with. And then instead of texting it, I, prayed and thanked him for that. So, I'm feeling really just like grateful this morning, because I'm focusing on those good things that my family is doing, that I'm doing, that God is doing, that my husband is doing. You know what I mean? And it just put me in like a much better mindset this morning. So I want to encourage you guys to write a love letter today. I just do it on a Google Doc, literally bullet points of, people whose relationship I want to strengthen, including my relationship with myself, and then text them and say thank you. Can you imagine how much better your relationships would be if you did this every day? Can you imagine how much better the world would be if everyone did this, if everyone started their day off with gratitude and thanking others, sending out these love letters every day to friends and family? Like, it would truly change the world. So let's start with ourselves today, and really, like Katrina is saying in the comments, give life to your gratitude. Like, by making it real and like making it about others too. So I hope that helps you guys. I can't wait to hear how it changes your day and your life. So please message me and share like how it made you feel. I'd love to hear. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.